Hello and welcome to Spy Kids Challenger, a bizarre mini-game collection on the Game Boy Advance. There are 3 mini-games in this mini-game collection. The one you're seeing right now is The Juggler, based on the Juggler theme park attraction from Spy Kids 2. This game itself is based on Spy Kids 2. I don't know why it's not just called Spy Kids 2 instead of Spy Kids Challenger. The general idea behind the game is that you're a recruit for the OSS, and you're completing these mini-game challenges in order to increase your rank and become more prevalent within the organization. And the more points you get, the higher your rank goes. If you die, though, you don't get to keep your points. And I'm playing on Extreme Mode, which is not for the faint of heart, because in Extreme Mode you only get the 1 life, you see. This is my favorite of the 3 minigames. It also happens to be the first one, and also the only one we're going to be looking at. So, you might think the goal is to climb, but the overarching goal of the game is to get the most points, and even though we have to climb to get points, it helps to be a little more thoughtful about it. First, let's go over the basic rules. You only get points when you land on a platform you haven't already landed on. You get more points if you land on one of the juggling claws. The farther you go into the air before touching a platform, the more points you get. Even if there's a platform you haven't landed on and it's beneath you, you don't get points for touching it. You only get points for going up to new platforms. There are point multipliers and just little clusters of points just kind of sitting around that you can grab, and they do exactly as advertised. There's little power-ups you can get on the sides of the attraction, like these spring shoes, which help you jump really high. There is fall damage and you die instantly if you fall from a great enough height. The spring shoes are an instant power-up that can't be stored for later, but there are some power-ups that can be stored for later, like the grappling hook and jetpack. And sometimes the juggler juggles balls, just like in the film. And we can let people out of the balls, and get more points for letting people out of the balls. The balls can also land on us and kill us instantly if they land on us. And there's nuances to all of these mechanics, like you can ride the balls like that as they're being juggled upward to get extra height. There is physics involved in this minigame, but they're very weird physics. Your character ledge grabs but doesn't do it automatically, so you have to hold up to ledge grab. If you hold up all the time, though, your character also jumps differently and it changes their arc. It's just sort of a game with a lot of rules that you learn more about as you play. And there's no instructions to it, really. Basically, you start the minigame and you get the idea immediately is to climb as high as you can, and then you learn all these other things while you're playing, like how the point multipliers work, what platforms are worth what amount of points. The only thing I couldn't figure out on my own was how to release people from the balls. You just press down to do that. The idea is that you're going to be playing the same 3 minigames over and over, so the more time you spend with it, the more you're going to understand its nuances and get better and better at playing it. But even though I think most of the mechanics and nuances of the Juggler minigame are really well designed to be inevitably discovered by the player as they play it more, the saving people from the balls thing just seems a little weird. Like, I like doing it and everything. It adds an extra thing to do during this minigame I'm going to be playing over and over to get more points. But it's not like it's made clear that's an objective of yours. All the other objectives and nuances to the minigame are things you just come to understand naturally by playing. But it's not like the amount of points you get from rescuing people is all that significant. So the structure of the minigames is also a bit odd. The Juggler and all the other minigames just kind of go on forever and get more difficult as they go along. They don't end or anything, though. When you clear a stage, you can opt out by jumping to the exit. And you get to keep all the points you got if you jump to the exit, but you're just going to have to move on to the next minigame and keep replaying them until you get maximum rank, I assume, is the idea. Maximum rank by getting all of the points. And if your rank gets high enough, you can get upgrades, like you can get an upgrade that lets you jump higher in the Juggler minigame, but that's assuming you play the game long enough to get those upgrades. Really, the reason this video exists is because all the other videos of this game are really obnoxious looking. I haven't actually watched any of them, to be fair, but they're like, look at this crappy shovelware kind of thumbnails and titles, and it's like, it's just a mini game collection, and the mini games aren't even terribly designed or anything. Like, one of the videos for this game is part of something called Horrible Games Month, and the other video title is called Shovelware Asylum. It's like, Christ. Do you have to be so outwardly fucking negative towards such a mediocre, inoffensive game? Like, it's not horrendous or anything. If someone's really out there pulling their hair out over Spy Kids Challenger, that's concerning. Anyway, this is the juggler minigame in Spy Kids Challenger. I really don't want to show you the other two because I just don't like them, but they're not awful or anything. Second one's a little slow, but none of them are disgusting to play.